Imagine a man pushing a broom, filling up gas tanks, wearing the same old jacket every day. Everyone thought he was poor, maybe even struggling. But when he died, the world discovered his secret. He left behind $8 million. This is the unbelievable story of Ronald Read, a janitor who built a fortune in silence. He was born in 1921 in Vermont, and as a child, he woke up every morning before sunrise and went straight to work on his family's farm. As a poor farmer's son, Ronald didn't have many opportunities. But despite his humble beginnings, he was determined to make something of himself. He walked 4 miles to school every day just to get an education. He was not a bookworm. He did not excel in academics. He wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't incredibly smart. He was just ordinary. But he had one thing that made all the difference. Discipline. He lived by a simple rule. Save a little from each paycheck and invest it wisely. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was quite tough. But he didn't care. All he knew was that he wanted to be financially free. So he stuck to his plan and saved money for many years. Then World War II broke out. Like any young man, Ronald felt compelled to serve his country. He joined the army and was deployed to Europe. It was dangerous, stressful, scary. But amidst all that chaos, Ronald still thought about money and investments. When he returned home after 5 years, he had a lot of thoughts and plans. But first, he needed a job to make some money. So he started working at a gas station as an attendant. It wasn't glamorous, but he didn't mind. It paid the bills and allowed him to continue investing. For decades, Ronald kept saving money. He also learned a new skill: fixing cars. It wasn't easy. It took time and effort. But Ronald was committed to learning. He wanted to be able to fix cars so he could save more money. One day, a fire broke out at the gas station. It spread quickly and destroyed the entire building. Ronald knew he had to do something. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and tried to put out the flames, but it was no use. The fire was too big. Suddenly, he remembered his training. He grabbed a nearby hose and started spraying water on the flames. It wasn't easy, but eventually, he was able to put out the fire. Everyone was impressed by Ronald's bravery. They praised him for saving the gas station from destruction. It felt good to be recognized, but Ronald didn't do it for the praise. He did it because it was the right thing to do. Meanwhile, the owner of the gas station, Mr. Thompson, was very grateful to Ronald for saving his business. He knew that without Ronald's quick thinking, the entire station would have burned down. So he offered Ronald a new job, a janitor position at his new gas station. Ronald accepted and continued to live a simple life. Ronald was happy with his job. He liked keeping things clean and organized. Plus, it gave him extra income to save money. It might sound boring, but for Ronald, it was perfect. Years went by. Ronald continued to work as a janitor and save money. He was happy with his life. He had a job, a home, and a purpose. But there was something missing. He wanted more. He wanted to make a difference. One day, he heard about a charity organization that was helping children in need. Ronald was moved by their work and decided to donate some of his savings. It wasn't much, but it was enough to help a few children. As the years passed, Ronald continued to donate to charity. He never did it for recognition or praise. He simply enjoyed making a difference. A few years later, another tragedy struck. The town was hit by a severe flood. Homes were destroyed, businesses were ruined, and people were left homeless. Ronald felt terrible seeing the suffering around him. He wanted to help. So he took out a loan and used his savings to buy food, clothing, and other essentials for those in need. It wasn't easy. He struggled to pay back the loan. But he didn't care. Helping others brought him more joy than anything else. Years went by. Ronald continued to work, save, and donate. It was a routine for him. He never missed a donation. He was a quiet, unassuming man. No one knew how much money he had saved over the years. In 2014, at the age of 92, Ronald passed away. His friends and neighbors were shocked. They had no idea he had so much money. They thought he was just a poor janitor. But they were wrong. When Ronald's will was read, it revealed the truth. He had more than $8 million. It was unbelievable. Everyone was shocked. How could a janitor be so wealthy? According to his will, most of his fortune was to be donated to charities, including the Brattleboro Memorial Hospital, where he received treatment in his final years. He also left money for the local library, which he frequented. It was a shock for the entire town. They couldn't believe that one of their own had been so wealthy all along. But it wasn't just the amount of money that shocked them. It was also Ronald's humility. Despite being rich, he never flaunted his wealth. He drove a used Toyota, wore the same old clothes, and lived a simple life. In fact, he was so humble that most people didn't even know his last name. They just knew him as the nice janitor. When news of Ronald's fortune spread, people were inspired. They realized that wealth wasn't about how much you earned, but what you saved and invested. Ronald was a self-made millionaire who had achieved financial freedom through hard work and discipline. His story was a testament to the power of saving and investing. Even though Ronald had passed away, his legacy lived on. People in Brattleboro, Vermont, were proud to have known him. They named a park after him in honor of his contributions to the community. The Brattleboro Memorial Hospital used Ronald's donation to open a new wing, which they named the Ronald Read Wing. It was a fitting tribute to a man who had given so much to the hospital and the town. Likewise, the local library benefited from Ronald's generosity. They used his donation to build a new children's wing, which they named the Ronald Read Children's Library. It was a fitting tribute to a man who had been a lifelong learner and animal rights activist. Today, Ronald's story continues to inspire people around the world. His humility, generosity, and commitment to making a difference are truly admirable. He was a true role model who showed that anyone can achieve financial freedom through hard work and discipline. Moreover, Ronald's story reminds us that wealth is not just about money, but also about making a positive impact on the world. He was a quiet, unassuming man who made a lasting impact on his community. His legacy will live on for generations to come. In conclusion, Ronald Read was an extraordinary man who lived an ordinary life. He was a self-made millionaire who achieved financial freedom through hard work and discipline. He was a humble, generous man who gave back to his community and made a positive impact on the world. His story is an inspiration to us all. So let us remember Ronald Read, the janitor who became a legend. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share it with your friends. And if you want to learn more about inspiring stories, stay tuned for more content.